Hello, kiddo. Welcome back to another video. Today we got some good old Nevin. When a VTuber crosses the line, the Shondo drama explained. Let's get into it.
Hi, it's Neven here. So Shondo,
Hello.
the incident
Okay.
that happened a few days ago. It all actually started with a tweet by Bao. If you don't know what happened with Bao, I recommend watching the video I already posted about it.
Bro, on God, this year is not the year for content creators. Genuinely. It's like, bro. How many content creators have already blown up their own careers in just 2025 alone? Like, god damn, man. From Miskiv, shit. Wasn't Cinder literally earlier this year as well? Like, god damn, dude. It's wild. But honestly, in my opinion, this sort of just solidifies that all these popular VTuber women are nothing but a bunch of high school girls who never grew up and more than likely were never actually part of the popular clubs, the quote unquote popular kid clubs in high school, and more of like the social rejects or the social outcasts type people. And now that they're the ones who are popular in the spotlight, it's all just going to their head and they're just reverting to that because they never got that. I feel like that's just what every single one of these women are. Because it's like, bro, realistically, you could easily recover from this if you just grew up and apologize. Just be like, you know what? I fucked up. My tweet, was missing context that it needed, or I fucked up, I phrased it poorly and it makes it look like I'm only talking about one specific group. But then, she Bao crashes out, triple and quadruples down on the fact that she was specifically talking about men, not women. And instead of, and it's just wild given that, how 90% of her audience is men and she's just going to attack 90% of her audience. It's just like, dude, what are you doing, man? Anyway, let's get on with it.
Like it in the video description below. Bao received a lot of criticism for that tweet, and that is the post Shondo decided to reply to. I'm convinced this woman is one of the more intricate and stronger Oni traps in place. Twice she has done rather horrible things just this year, and twice people without a brain line up to play the shield, doubling down on her sexism, and you'll lap it up like ice cream in July. I'm reading Flo.
I'm not gonna defend anyone here. All I'm gonna say is, if you're gonna say that done she's done stuff twice in just this year, in my opinion, you should at least provide what those two things are, so that way no one can come into your comments and be like, they start arguing with like, where's your proof? That way the proof is already there. And you don't get into this pissing contest of like, well, why don't you go look up the proof and all this other, BS that no one really cares about. That's just my 2 cents. It's like, if you're gonna say someone's fucked up, at least include the sad aforementioned fuck ups.
Lap it up like ice cream in July. I'm reading Floki's post and I get exactly what he's saying. She went live and immediately switched into "I'm being cancelled for no reason" mod, as if people just randomly decided to attack her. But that's not what happened. People are reacting to.
If anything, it just shows you that a lot of these women are just really fake on the internet. And obviously not all of them, but we can rest assured that more than half, at least 60 to 70% of the female VTubers out there that are popular, I would say, put on an act and don't actually show you who they actually are behind closed doors. because if you saw who they actually were behind closed doors, they probably wouldn't be where they are right now. Even if they are woman and they have that the woman buff, the V2 being woman buff. But it's like, bro, at the same time, it's like, dude, learn to just keep your mouth shut, man. All she had to do was keep her mouth shut, swallow her pride, and be like, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. I fucked up. End of story. That's it. That's all she had to do, and she didn't do it. Why? Because that's not what she believes. She genuinely believes what she tweeted. She genuinely believes, you know, that it's men only. And I can guarantee you, she probably believes that women can do no wrong, even after the whole Cinder situation, which is kind of wild. How you would say, that how you would single out men but not women, given how I'm pretty sure exactly what you're describing is what Cinder did to you, or you did to Cinder, one of those two. And look how that turned out. It's like, you're gonna sit here and say only men when someone who you thought was your friend, who also was a woman, screwed over not only you but other people you consider your friends and who considered her a friend. It's kind of wild. How can you say only men when Cinder fucked you over and fucked over other people? Granted, it wasn't just Cinder's fault, so obviously, you know, you can't place all the blame on her. But it's like, how? It's because they're the same person. Obviously, I don't mean they're the exact same person, but it's like their personalities are pretty closely similar. They're both very narcissistic individuals. They're both very egotistical, and they think because they're this popular that nothing will be able to knock them off of this cliff that they're on. You know, they think that they're on the throne and nothing can dethrone them. But I feel like, Bao, you should look at what happened to Cinder and be like, shit, if that can happen to her, it can happen to me. So I don't know why you're opting to go down the same rabbit hole as her, but whatever.
To her own tweet, a tweet that
It's kind of sad because I contemplated buying her shit because I actually like the designs of like the stuff on GamerSups. But I was like on the fence about it because money. And then like this happened, and I was like, well, that solidifies it. I'm just not buying it. You know, I'll just keep my Bao Berry decaffeinated that I got as part of a promo for some other cup and drink that.
was openly sexist and she doubled down on it. That's not hate, that's consequences. If you post something sexist on the internet, especially as a public figure where, let's admit, 90% of your fucking fanbase is male, you don't get to act shocked when people judge you for it. That's literally how public platforms work. You can throw a punch and then cry when someone points out you threw it. So what made this go viral? Shondo chose to attack someone she doesn't even know. A man with just 1K followers at the time, a disabled army vet, and publicly labeled him out as groomer alert. So why is this a serious problem?
I saw this and I was like, that is wild coming from you. I that was literally my exact fucking thought, word for word. That is wild coming from you. Given Shondo's history as being labeled as a lolly bait VTuber, and also, you know, having groomer allegations, and, you know, being called a pedo and all this other things, you know, I'm amazed that you would go out and call someone else that. What a fucking piece of shit statement to put out there, given that you've suffered, you know, you've been called this exact same thing and you've had to fight tooth and nail so that way, you know, and people still call you this stuff. You know, it hasn't stopped, trust me. There's no way in hell all of a sudden every single person who called Shondo that disappeared. There's some people out there that will still, you know, die on this hill that she is a groomer as well. But it's like, for you to like call someone else that, bro, that's like if Rev went and called that's like if Rev called you a lolicon, you know? It'd be like, what?
Public figure with 200,000 followers. Accusing someone of grooming isn't just an insult, it's the internet equivalent of calling him a pedophile. You're firing career-killing weapon at a stranger with zero evidence, and you're giving your entire audience permission to join in. This isn't calling someone out, it's weaponizing your platform to slander a stranger over disagreement.
Yeah, 1.1 million views, by the way, as opposed to a 795.6k views. Let's just keep that in mind. It might not seem like that much of a difference, but it is.
And all of that just because he shared his opinion about your Oshi. So 2 days after the criticism, Shondo posted what she called an apology. But when you actually read it, it becomes pretty clear this isn't an apology. It's a long post about how she feels, why she—
Yeah, someone literally broke it down and dissected it, because that's how much of an awful quote-unquote apology this is.
said it, and why we supposedly misunderstood her. Let's go through the key part. I recently said something pretty mean on Impulse that's been pretty roughly misinterpreted.
I don't think there's anything to misinterpret. I feel like it's a pretty, you know, pretty dry and clear statement what you typed out and tweeted, you know? And I feel like the wild thing is you're verified, meaning you had ample time to delete that tweet. And the fact that it stayed up for that long, to the point where, you know, it doesn't even say how long ago it was tweeted, but it instead shows, I think she deleted them now. She deleted all this shit now. But like, it stayed up long enough for everyone to see it. You could have easily tweeted it, then immediately have deleted it if you actually were sorry, or if it was on impulse. Because if it was on impulse, wouldn't you delete it the moment the impulse is gone and be like, oh shit, have a moment of clarity?
Starts by shifting the blame. Not I did something wrong, but you misunderstood. It's British humor to throw words around. That's—
Bro, that's not a defense. Like, what? If I went and said that Smugalana was a syphilis-ridden prostitute whore, you know, and I suffered backlash from that, I wouldn't be able to say, oh, guys, calm down. It's Hispanic black humor. It's minority humor. Come on, guys. Why are you throwing so much hate my way? It's just humor. It's like, no, what? That's not humor. I literally accused someone of being riddled with STDs and of putting themselves out for free, you know, and having no respect whatsoever, with the intent of being malicious, because I know that's not true. It's like, no, you cannot say that it's British humor to throw around words. That's dumb as fuck. Just like how I can't say it's, you know, Hispanic humor or black humor to insult and, you know, slander another person or a woman. You know, I can't be blatantly misogynistic, and then when I receive backlash for being blatantly misogynistic, be like, guys, guys, calm down. I said that on impulse, and guys, don't you get it? It's minority humor. You just gotta be a minority to understand my level of humor. It's just that god tier. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Don't kid yourself.
Not humor, that's deflection. Accusing someone of grooming isn't British humor. I've become completely and utterly numb to it. It becomes about how she feels, not who she wronged. Sympathy shift, not apology.
I know this is supposed to be an apology about how I wronged someone else, but let me tell you how this is all, you know, still about how I'm the victim. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Someone of your stature should know better. Like, don't you have, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you literally have a PR team? How did a tweet like that make it past your fucking PR team, first and foremost?
That said, if there are robberies in your area, it's not a bad idea to lock your door. That's basically saying men are dangerous.
What? Wait, where the fuck is that? Where is that? Oh, here it is. If there are robberies in your area, it's not a bad idea to lock your door. Bro, that's, you could say that about anything. If there are robberies in your area, it's not a bad idea to buy a gun. If there are robberies in your area, it's probably not a bad idea to invest in a bear trap either, huh? Some home defense. If there's a robbery in your area, it's not a bad idea to to install some security cameras around your house and some, you know, some security floodlights that trigger automatically at the slightest hint of movement. You could literally throw anything in there. Like, what kind of defense is that?
So it wasn't sexist, it was just common sense. I don't take kindly at all that my thoughts are being interpreted that way. Again.
There's no, what do you mean? Again, how are you the victim here? What do you mean that your thoughts are being misinterpreted? What? That's so dumb. You don't take kindly at all to your thoughts being misinterpreted that way. What's there left to misinterpret? You called someone a groomer. It's pretty dry. It's like calling someone... It's like when women call Tectone a rapist. It's like, what's the interpretation there? You know what you're saying. You know what you typed out. You know what the implications of a statement like that will be, especially of someone with your following. What's there left to misinterpret other than you did this to attack someone just because they called out someone you like, someone who you classify as a friend, because your friend is in the wrong?
Audience is the problem. TLDR, sorry for drama whoring. Sarcasm in an apology is not accountability. Said the quiet part out loud. She's still standing
Bro,
by
what?
the words. She's just mad because it caused backlash. So no, this is not an apology.
So then yeah, like Nevin is saying, this is not an apology then, if that's the case. If you're stating, said the quiet part out loud, that means you're not sorry for what you tweeted and you don't regret it. So how can we take this as an apology if you don't feel sorry for what you did? You're not apologizing. You're just trying to cover your own ass.
No accountability.
Talk about fucking entitled, man.
No responsibility. No acknowledgement of the person she smeared. It's not I was wrong. It's you took...
Like, bro, I'm honestly half expecting for Nevin to scroll down even further and for Shondo to tweet out, guys, I'm a woman. You have to go easy on me.
It all wrong. Then under that so-called apology, she posts this. Being kind to the people who don't deserve it is the strongest and most badass thing you can do, actually. Translation.
Yeah, but you're not being kind. You weren't being kind to anyone. And they didn't deserve the attack that you did either. What warranted that statement? What warranted that tweet? Nothing did. Nothing warranted you going out and tweeting that.
I'm choosing to be kind, even though you don't deserve it. That's not kindness, that's passive-aggressive superiority. And still, no apology to the person she accused. No naming the harm, no ownership. After the backlash to her apology, what did she do? Instead of apologizing properly, she posted this image. A model wearing the hat that says CEO of Groom.
Bro. Yep. Like we said, dude, these women genuinely have no concept of what is real and what isn't on off the internet. Like, dude, it's insane. I can guarantee you that she's gonna start crying that people are attacking her and trying to cancel her on stream one of these days. And it's gonna be regarding this situation, and then her fans being oblivious to all this stuff are gonna eat it up. Just like Bao's fans. And it's insane, dude. It's like, bro, what a joke. How the mighty have fallen, honestly, dude. Like, bro.
So let's break this down. She called a stranger a groomer with zero proof, refused to take it back, got called out, and made it a joke. That's unmocking the situation and by extension, the person she harmed. By the way, before she even posted that picture, sorry, I forgot to mention, she was live and literally said this on stream.
Alright, I've decided. I'm the CEO of grooming now.
Bro.
You ever need some expertise and help?
You know what's wild? This is even sadder when you realize this isn't her natural voice. This is a voice she puts on for the character. This isn't what she sounds like IRL. That's what's even sadder. That's what makes this even worse. Is that this sort of feels like a pseudo admission. It almost feels like Shondo at this point is trying to like project the fact that Shondo may or may not be a groomer. That's obviously a very fucking out there bullshit pulling out of my ass shit that I'm just yapping on about to like try to make some retarded point. But it's like, bro, how are you with everything that you've gone through with the whole grooming shit? How are you gonna sit here and then say that? You're quite literally giving these people who call you a groomer and say that you're a groomer and that you're a lolly baiter and that you're a bait VTuber who pedo baits, all the perfect ammunition to call you this, and then you're not going to be able to defend yourself because you're calling yourself this, and you're going to try to say, oh guys, I was joking, very obviously. And there will be some people who will know that, you know, this statement is obviously a joke, but it's like, at the same time, given the drama that's coming out, is it really a joke? Given all the stuff you've tweeted? Can we sometimes take it as a joke? Or is there some, you know, tinfoil hat conspiracy theory beneath the surface here?
I'm here. You are the groomed, yes. I am in fact the CEO of grooming. Oh, you could just spam it, that's awesome. Consider yourself groomed, bitch.
So it's not a double down or even a triple down. Too many downs for me to count at this point. It's just sad. She just refuses to apologize and turns everything.
Like I said, the women who were in high school who were never part of the popular niche, so they never got it out of their system, are all of a sudden popular now, and they're making money and they're put on this pedestal. So their egos are being stroked and they think that they can get away with saying just anything. It's just like Fillion saying that her fucking PC is a goddamn bomb at TSA. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Consequences of your actions. If you say something like that in a place like TSA, shit's gonna hit the fan. If you state this kind of stuff, say that you're a groomer, and then you're just quadrupling down instead of apologizing like you should have just done from the beginning to avoid all this, yeah, there's gonna be massive repercussions and massive backlash.
Into a joke. Sorry. Must be that British humor. I just don't get it, I guess. Later that day, after deleting the tweets, she posted this. I'm having an episode.
Yeah, like I said, she deleted everything.
And I'm in the hospital. Now let's be clear and respectful. If she's genuinely struggling, I obviously hope she gets better. Mental health is real, episodes are real, and rest is important. But we also have to acknowledge the timing. She falsely accused someone, mocked it, avoided
Nah, I'm sorry, but I have a few words on this. I saw this and I was livid. I was fucking livid. You know? I'm having an episode and am at the hospital. I am okay, but not doing well. I'm I asked for my phone to tell you I have stopped the subathon. I am really sorry. I will get better. I don't really know what happened. They said I'm having a catatonic episode again. I'm sorry. Haven't had one of those in a long time, so I thought they stopped. They put me on the good stuff. Thought so. I'm okay. Even though I hurt, but I am really tired, and they won't let me keep my phone, so I have to go now. I am gonna say this: if people calling you out on the internet drove was this impactful to your mental, people just calling you out because you fucked up and calling you out that you're just not apologizing and you're doubling down on it and pretending like the situation is a joke, so people call you out even harder. If that affects your mental health that badly that you end up in the hospital, I think you need to rethink your priorities in life, not gonna lie. Especially when everyone is justified for calling you out. How am I supposed to feel sorry for you when the reason why you're in the hospital is because people on the internet called you out for you being a shitty person, because you were being a shitty person, and your response isn't to apologize but to still continue to be a shitty person in response to the situation and make fun of it. And then when they call you out even harder, you have a mental breakdown. You talk about, like, obviously mental health is a serious issue, but at the same time, it's like there are people out there who are having mental breakdowns because they don't know if they're going to be able to afford rent and the ability to feed their kids. And you're having a mental meltdown over something on the internet. It's kind of like you need to genuinely rethink your priorities and go outside and touch some grass. Like, I hope your mental health gets better, but at the same time, you need to get off the internet and go outside and touch some grass if the internet is affecting you this badly. All because you refuse to apologize.
Responsibility, and suddenly all the focus shifts to her suffering. I'm not saying I don't believe her, but based on the timeline, it's very hard to accept this with eyes closed. I even tweeted, wishing you full recovery, and I genuinely hope you feel better soon. That said, once you're in a better place, I still believe a proper apology and accountability are important. Health comes first, but responsibility doesn't disappear, because you can care about someone's well-being and still hold them accountable. After 6 days, she posted this new apology, so let's go over the key sentences.
Oh boy.
And why this apology is way better than the first one. She apologized directly to the person she hurt, Floki. I would like to take full responsibility and accountability for how embarrassingly dumb I have been recently. She's not dodging it. She openly admits she did something.
See, this is exactly what she should have just done from day one. Exactly this, and all this stuff could have been avoided. Like, genuinely. Like, it baffles me, because this tells me she is smart enough to know when she's in the wrong. Okay? This tells me that she's smart enough to know when she's in the wrong. She's smart enough to be able to write out an actual heartfelt apology. Why couldn't she have just done that from the start and avoided all this drama? And I'm also glad she says this: I don't believe in using mental illness as a crutch or an excuse. And I'm glad she says that, because there are people who do, and there are people who actively try to use their mental health as a crutch, an excuse, or even a outright shield from any type of criticism or backlash whatsoever. It's the same thing when, like, people try to use their skin color for, you know, as for the exact same reasons. It's like, bro, you are more than just your skin color. You are more than just your mental illness. You know, And I have to say, mad respect for her for actually taking responsibility instead of just, taking the bout route and just doubling down and tripling down and quadrupling down. Because this, yeah, even though she should have just done this from the start, I'm glad she's doing it at the end of the day. I'm glad this is still the end outcome, is her apologizing like she should have done and admitting, hey, I fucked up.
And takes responsibility for it. That's a solid start. I'm sorry for the mean tweet. It was incredibly thoughtless for me to call you a groomer. This is a direct apology to the person she hurt. Clear, specific, and without excuses. She recognized that what she said was wrong. I literally didn't even consider that my actions could cause you upset or make people attack you. She acknowledged the impact of her words, not just that the tweet existed, but that it led to real harm and harassment. I messed up again by apologizing to my fanbase rather than to Floki himself. Meaning, she admits that the first apology was handled badly. She apologized to the wrong people. This is owning not one but two mistakes. Someone who throws around words like this to strangers just isn't the person I want to be. Meaning, she understands that this wasn't just a joke, and that this behavior doesn't align with the kind of person she wants to be. I don't believe in hiding or removing mistakes. I think it's important to own up to them, meaning she frames accountability as a value. Even if she panicked at first, she's now showing belief in owning her actions. I will do better. An apology shouldn't just be about regret, it should include commitment to change, and she makes that promise here. So, let's break it down by what makes it different. She apologized directly to the person she hurt.
Muted on accident. Bro, this is quite literally one of the best comeback apologies I've ever seen. Holy shit. Literally. Like, her first apology wasn't even an apology. This feels like what the first one should have been. And it is worded perfectly. Like, genuinely, I can't think of any ways she could have improved this. And like she says, realistically, you shouldn't just be throwing these kinds of accusations around at random strangers. Especially if they're people who you don't even know and you have this massive fan base that is willing to rally behind you at any moment, And it's like, if she says it to like friends, that's fine, Calling your friend that, it's the same as calling your friend a retard or calling your friend retarded. It's like, no one's really going to care whatsoever because guess what? Your friends don't really care to begin with. But if you're like in a work environment and you call a supervisor retarded, then yeah, there's going to be some issues and you're going to have to probably talk to HR.
Loki. She named the harmed, called you a groomer. She said it was wrong, thoughtless, and hurtful. She took ownership for both of the accusation and the failed apology. She explained why she deleted the tweet and admitted it was the wrong choice. She reflected on her actions, calling them childish and hateful. She committed to change. She didn't blame the cancel culture or say people twisted my words. She apologized properly, and that's something. Some people like Bao shake off responsibility, blame the audience, and keep moving like nothing happened, but Shondo didn't. She apologized to the right person for the right reason, using the right language, and I'm glad she did. So yeah, I'm happy there's finally a proper ending to this. Good job, Shondo. Here's Floki's response to her apology. Shondo has properly and meaningfully apologized. I have accepted. The matter
Hey,
is
let's
not
go.
do anything on my behalf, because it won't be. I truly hope she can find peace within her break and continues to take care of herself wherever her path takes her.
That's a good ending. That's a nice ending, This is a nice ending to the drama, a nice little bow on top of it all, Because it's like she didn't apologize, she doubled down, then she realized she was wrong, then she properly apologized in a meaningful way, admitted that she was wrong, admitted, how it could have been construed, which was not her intent, and stated that she'll try to do better next time. And all we can hope for is that she does do better next time. And believe that she will try to do better next time. And it's also nice that and then we have Loki who accepts the apology and you know, he's treating it like water under the bridge. They buried the hatchet and they're done. You know, like I said, nice little conclusion. She apologizes, he accepted, and everything goes back to normal, except for, like she said, the whole bow situation. Like, bro.
I respect your position and the fact that she accepted her apology. That's totally fair. At the same time, when someone is public figure, their words and actions influence a lot of people. Even if the situation is resolved on a personal level, it still makes sense for others to talk about this because it affected more than just the people directly involved. She apologized, which was necessary and the right thing to do, and now hopefully others can learn from it too. Accountability and support aren't opposites, both can exist. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and have a great day.
Bow the whale, the tweet that exposed everything. Funny title. But yeah, I hadn't seen the conclusion, I will say. So the conclusion that actual apology was a shock to me, because that actually hadn't appeared on my timeline yet, you know, but the other stuff had, and I was like, damn, all I could think of was like, all she has to do is apologize. All she has to do is just meaningfully apologize, and all this will blow over. That's all she has to do. She just needs to do that, and it'll all blow over. Why hasn't she done that? But it's nice to see that she did do that, actually. And that, you know, it's all water under the bridge, and you know, people have buried the hatchet. But it kind of sucks ass that, to my knowledge, the bow stuff is still going on, and she is still the one who opts to not be like Shondo and chooses to double down on everything. And it's just not looking good for her, if I'm being honest. But like I said, I'm glad Shondo did at least apologize, you know, because she, of all people, in my opinion, should have the most sympathy for when people get called that, given how she has gone through her own fair share of accusations and allegations. And it does, like I said, it just genuinely makes me happy that she actually apologized and whatnot, instead of choosing to go the route that other female content creators do, which is double down until their life implodes and they end up blowing up their own channels. Then they hit the big red self-destruct button. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jizz, and I'll catch you on the next one later.